What is up, guys? It is Robert of Movies with Me, and welcome to the Happy Death Day movie review. There will be no spoilers of this movie, just to let you know, so you won't find out who the killer was in this review. So this movie is directed by Christopher Landon, and it stars Jessica Rothe. Now, Jessica Rothe actually plays this person called Tree. Yeah, Tree. And it turns out that Tree is reliving the same day over and over again every time she gets killed, and it becomes like a Groundhog Day except for horror films. And it sounds like a cool concept that could probably work out, and it sort of does, not 100%. Now, look, I get it. This movie's not trying to be the next Blade Runner 2049. It's not trying to be the next big Conjuring movie. It's just trying to be a fun Halloween movie. And like I said, it does kind of get there, but just not 100%. For instance, the plot itself is fine. I get it. It's fine. It's cool. You get it's like a little bit of a mystery. However, it lacks on the mystery and on the horror side. It leans more towards the comedy side, which is fine because there are some comedic moments, but I feel like there are also some unintentional comedic moments when I'm laughing at these parts where I'm laughing, but I feel like I probably shouldn't be laughing because it's just kind of dumb what's going on the screen right now. The acting is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They all play their character to what it is, whether it be a teen that is just, bye, you've seen the trailer, or just a nerdier kid or something like that. They all play those college stereotypes, and they play them fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for instance, like with her, the main character, Tree, you get to see an evolution of her over the course of the movie. And there's one certain part, there's a one actually major part, that she gets quite an arc in the movie where she becomes something more, than just a popular girl that is like, no, you can't talk to me, you ain't popular, She becomes something more than that. But then something happens where just it reverts itself, and it's like, technically you just wasted like 15 minutes of the movie. Those 15 minutes that just happened, that actually evolved her character, are now gone. And it just kind of makes it really pointless. Those minutes that were actually very good also became pointless. And I felt this movie became repetitive. And I know you're going to say, well, isn't that what it's supposed to be? Yeah, but it became repetitive in a point where it was slow and it was getting pretty dull. It felt like it was dragging. There were some down moment points. But let's talk about some positives. Like I said, it is pretty funny at times. I did enjoy some of these characters. I did enjoy the guy, Carter, and I did enjoy Tree. They were fine. I enjoyed them as characters. It's a very predictable plot, but that's okay. You don't really need something that's super convoluted. But however, in this movie specifically, they are going towards more a mystery sort of route, like who is killing her? Who's killing her? It was kind of obvious to me. For some people, maybe not as obvious, but there was a specific point in the beginning of the movie where someone does something, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that's who it is. I could just see it, and so it was pretty obvious. At some points in the movie, they try to make it seem like it's not, and it's like, oh, okay, that's even worse. But then all of a sudden, it changes again, and you're like, oh, so it is who I thought it was. And then there's a slight point where it changes it again, and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's a pretty cool twist. And it's not actually a twist. And you're like, okay, no, all right. It's actually who I thought it was. And that's okay. Like, it's not like it's the worst thing, because the way it builds up to it is actually pretty entertaining. I'm not going to say I actually thought this movie was totally going to be garbage, but it's not. It's not. It's actually a movie that you can sit down and enjoy and have a good time. There are some side plots that I don't really think are necessary. Especially when some things occur in the movie that really just redo what she just said, and so it's like, because how she wakes up over and over again. So there are some points where she does evolve as a character, then technically de-evolve, and it's like, well, okay, well that just made that whole conversation pointless. And it makes her see better when she wakes up again, but then she does a certain thing where it's like, no, that doesn't work anymore again. In the horror elements, or it's more of like, I guess you could say, a slasher, it doesn't work either. Now, the reason why I say it doesn't work is because it's PG-13. That's huge. PG-13. This movie should totally be rated R, but it's not. It's PG-13, so they censor a lot of things whenever about to get cut to her waking up. And it's like, whoa, wow, that's great. Yeah, cool, cool. You know, the whole thing that people want to see is now censored. You may be like, oh, I didn't want to see the death. Yeah, you did. That's why you went to it, dude. You went to see Happy Death Day to see the deaths. If it was Happy Coffee Day and she got a coffee and every time she drank the coffee she woke up, you wouldn't be going to that movie because you wanted to see the deaths. And the deaths just are not satisfying. They aren't. Because they're censored, because it's PG-13, because of these editing marks that they have to do to make it a PG-13 movie. And I get it, but in the long run, this movie totally should have been rated R. And a lot of the tension that is built doesn't really work to me. I think it's not as intense as it probably could have been. There's someone going to kill her every time, and there probably could have been some new, very cool ways to kill her. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. That's how the movie's supposed to be, you know? And sadly, I just don't think it is. I don't think they went all out on what could have been a very cool scenes of her deaths. They do it pretty soft and pretty easy. And especially there are parts where like, how the fuck did that guy come inside? How? and like maybe there was like a room that's obviously boarded and all this stuff, and he's inside. It's like, he's not. That doesn't make sense. So there's stuff that just betrays the own logic, but also regardless, even after the weird logic points that they don't even follow, and the really not great tension, while some very good tension, some at a few times, most of it is lackluster, and with some still good characters, a pretty good story, you know, I think you can sit down and enjoy it. If you just kind of watch it and know what you're going into, it's really not bad. It's actually pretty enjoyable. It's just okay. Overall, I'm going to give Happy Death Day a 6 out of 10. Like I said, it is an okay movie. You can sit down and just enjoy it for what it was and have some fun. But at the same time, it doesn't go to the point where it probably totally could have been if it was a rated R movie and actually explored that kind of stuff. And, you know, the pacing, it was a little bit slow, but I still had some fun with it. I really did. And I think you will too. Like I said, not a bad movie. Just, it was okay. So yeah, guys, did you see Happy Death Day? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.